Hello, welcome to Access. I'm Rob. Joining us is Holly.
Hello, everyone.
The JRPG Dream Team.
This is what we do. We should get capes.
Yeah.
I'm getting us capes.
And t-shirts and everything. Anyway, this is the king of JRPGs as far as I'm concerned. This is Dragon Quest. Huge series.
Yes.
The first time we've seen it on a PlayStation home console since Dragon Quest 8.
Yeah, since PS2. I didn't even realise.
Many years ago. Dragon Quest 11 is a game I've had my eye on for some time. It looks amazing. You've played it, Holly.
I have. No, I haven't played an awful lot of it, but I got to play this little bit here in the Cryptic Crypt. Wow, I cannot say that fast. So what you're seeing now, we've got two characters. We've got 11 and Eric, and the two girls that are with us, they're like guest characters at this point in the game. So I can't control those two characters because they're guest characters, which is why only the two guys are showing on the right-hand side.
I see.
I love it. Look how... Oh, and can we address... I've already done a Dragon Quest video. We're just going to address the fact that, yes, we get it. It looks like Dragon Ball. But that is because it's the same character artist.
So if you don't know, Akira Toriyama, who is the man behind Dragon Ball, also is the man behind the character and monster design on Dragon Quest.
Yes.
So that's why it looks the same.
I just want to put that out there because there were an awful lot of Dragon Ball comments on our last video.
Wow. Well, I hope everyone knows now. It looks amazing. I've got to say, Dragon Quest has always looked incredible. It's had a beautiful art style. But Dragon Quest 11 is a beautiful looking game. I guess we're in a dungeon now, but in the previous video we saw like galloping around the world map, the sun setting. It looks so gorgeous. What I love about Dragon Quest 11 is how it's still a very traditional style JRPG, and we've had Ni no Kuni 2 recently, which made some modifications to the classic style. You know, it had real-time combat and a bunch of systems thrown in there as well. Dragon Quest 11 still very much what an old school JRPG fan ultimately in their heart of hearts wants to play.
Yeah, no, it hasn't lost that at all, and it hasn't tried to change itself for the West, she's saying. You can't see my air quotes because some people are scared of that. Now, in this particular build, it's very direct on what I was allowed to show.
Yeah.
For example, what you might have seen as we were running through a little room, one of the monsters was glowing.
Yes.
Now that one, if you kill that one, that means you can then take the monster it's riding and actually ride it around the dungeon yourself.
Really?
Now, I'm not allowed to show it in
cool.
this particular piece of capture, but you can do that, which I thought was really cool. And also, in the Cryptic Crypt, there is a certain path you can take, and I have discovered which one it is. If you don't, you'll fall through the floor and stuff like that.
I see.
It's a new shield for you.
A silver platter.
literally a silver plate. But yeah, these are the menus, which do look slightly different in the Western version.
Yeah, I've heard they've changed them a bit.
Yeah, so this is a nice look at what they're going to look like. We've actually, if you're wondering what all the differences are between the Japanese and English versions or Western versions, we've actually got a video about that on the channel, and there's a good 5 or 6 new features that they don't have that we now have, including a run button.
We will link to that video on the end card of this video, or you can just search for it on the channel. What's this, Holly? Is this the sort of, I'm guessing this is the upgrade tree system?
Very much the upgrade tree, which again, it screams sphere grid to me.
Yeah, I mean, the sphere grid.
There will be JRPG players that aren't as accustomed to Dragon Quest as they are to Final Fantasy, so think sphere grid from Final Fantasy X, but it was really lovely. I
really think the sphere grid must be the most influential kind of level up system in JRPG history. It's been imitated so many times since, like the license board in Final Fantasy 12. That just looks the same. Everyone knows what they're getting with that. So I guess we're just exploring a dungeon here, Holly. You know, is there anything dramatic about the way this works? You've mentioned you can ride monsters in battle.
Yeah, there's quite a few little things. The little tree-like things, little roots that you just saw growing out of the room there. If you go to that, you can watch like a flashback, which will help explain the dungeon for you. In this case, it would have given us the secret password to get into this door.
Right.
Which we have because of the type of build I'm playing.
Look at those ghost things. They look so flat.
They look so Dragon Quest.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's amazing.
It just knows exactly what it is, and it does look great.
But it does. It really does look amazing. Look at this guy.
And it does have, and you guys are now hearing it.
Is that dragon called Jarvis?
Yeah. With, of course, it's got English VO. So it's got English VO, and then it's got translation for five languages.
I specifically remember a boss from Dragon Quest 8. It was like, I can't remember what it was called, but it was a like an octopus type thing that you fought really early on that had just the most ridiculous voice ever. And I'm just really looking forward to that.
Veronica.
Oh, smashing. I do love guests. Especially when they bring me presents. If it isn't the one that got away. Talk about it in the... Yeah, just sit tight while we suck every ounce of magic.
So I love the sass of this big fat lizard thing. It's called Jarvis, and he's all kind of, he's not just rah like you might get.
Jarvis
He's not just a
Cocky.
monster, is he? Jarvis Cocky. Oh, if they called him that would be great.
That's the type of pun you'd expect from
Yes.
a Dragon Quest game. Now, the battle system, I do quite like the fact you can actually move the camera in battle whenever you want.
Yeah.
And it sounds really daft, but I kind of like the freedom it gives. And it is quite a nice, speedy turn-based system.
Yes.
So if you're not totally sold on turn-based, this has got a nice modern-ish pace to it, so it doesn't feel too slow.
I love turn-based. I find it quite relaxing. Like, I don't have to worry. All I have to worry about is making my move a good one. I don't have to worry about dodging or, Can you actually? I'm sure I saw in previous footage you can actually move around in the battle screen, or can you not?
I haven't been able to move around in this one. You can very much change the angle to suit what you want to look at.
Right.
But I guess having the two guest characters as well is slightly skewing with the perspective because I can't control those two girls. So you can see they're just randomly healing, sort of whenever they want.
We had a little bit of movement of 11 then.
Well, now he's gone to sleep, so
And now he's
no
asleep.
more of that. But it's
There's-
all right, Eric's here.
There's one of Jarvis's friends down.
Yeah. Now, Jarvis himself, I'm always trying to get my ads down first, my additionals. So,
Yes.
like, all the little monsters have to go first.
Oh, I do that as well.
So the person next to me is like, why you just attack Jarvis? And I was like, excuse me, there are ads up.
Yeah.
I have to get the ads
Get
down.
rid of them,
Then we can
one
do
at a
it.
time. I'm the same.
Yeah, now
That was
luckily,
nasty, wasn't it?
now I don't, because there's no health bar for these guys. Luckily, I don't have to worry about them. But they are doing a very good job of keeping me healed,
Yes.
which makes me happy.
Oh, 11's got some healing magic as well. I like that.
Yeah, this build has definitely been like, you know what you're doing. Here's a really well put together build where if you die, you're clearly not very good at the game.
Yeah.
To me, like, this rounds off
I think-
September
oh.
for releases
There's
so nicely.
There's a lot coming out in September, isn't there? Dragon Quest 11 comes out first, I think. It comes out before Spider-Man,
Yeah.
before Shadow of the Tomb Raider. But, I don't think I'm going to be finished Dragon Quest by the time Spider-Man comes out. It's going to be tough.
I mean, we should also say again, because it's always a popular question when covering JRPG titles, no, you don't need to have played the others. It's just like a Final Fantasy game in the sense that there are certain connecting things that do run through as themes, but honestly, the story and the world are all independent. You can start with this one. You're going to have to. If you're a home console owner, especially PlayStation, we haven't seen a Dragon Quest in so long now.
I haven't played a Dragon Quest since Dragon Quest 8, and I'm just going to be diving into 11.
Yeah, and I'll be doing the same. So if you are watching this, it is always a question, no matter what JRPG me and Rob seem to be covering. I almost wish sometimes they wouldn't add numerical numbers to them. And Tabata-san said this when he was doing Final Fantasy 15, that he wished he could just call it Final Fantasy because everyone just asked, do I have to play the other 14
Do I have
games?
to play the other 14 games?
No. It's a very popular
No is
question.
the answer.
Look at Jarvis, look at him. Nasty.
I think it's important to realise how big Dragon Quest is as well in Japan. Like, in Japan, Dragon Quest is bigger than Final Fantasy.
Yeah, I think the top 3 series are Dragon Quest, Final Fantasy, and the Tales of series. They make up the top 3, and there's a big gap between the top 2 and then the Tales series.
But, like Dragon Quest, I think games traditionally launch on a weekday in Japan. But because so many people would take sick days and time off work for a new Dragon Quest game, they've made it a rule that Dragon Quest games have to be released on a Saturday.
Yeah, it's
Just
huge.
otherwise the country just comes to a halt. It's like when it snows here.
Yeah, it's true. In fact, there's actually a Dragon Quest themed cafe in Roppongi. So there's obviously Final Fantasy themed
you went to
cafes.
that, didn't
Yeah, we went, and like you can get slime steamed buns, and all the drinks are themed.
We regret to inform you the 11:15 from Shibuya will be delayed due to Dragon Quest releasing. Oh, hello.
Yeah.
11's powering up now. I remember you increasing your tension, powering up. Old Jarvis has got bored with this. He's gone to sleep.
Yeah, so what I've done is instead of waking up by hitting him, I'm basically just using my time. Then she
Yes.
does it anyway. But
Oh.
luckily Eric powers up as well.
Oh, I love that.
And this again,
It looks great. It looks like going Super Saiyan.
I was gonna say there's no point in avoiding it because I think there's gonna be a lot of people that will recognize Dragon Ball above recognizing Dragon Quest.
Yeah.
And when you see things like that, it's so hard not to make the comparison.
Yeah.
Like, especially in this next bit. So now that we're both powered up, we can basically use our special move.
Here we go. Are you using them together?
Yes.
Oh, this looks amazing.
Doesn't it look so good?
Oh my god, it looks great. Have some of that, Jarvis. 23.
But he's not carrying it. That's basically like a really good steal move.
Right.
But he wasn't really carrying anything worth stealing, so...
But it looked good, and that's all that matters. He likes doing that little water breath move, doesn't he?
But it's alright. Serena's doing some really good healing, so actually it's not too much to worry about.
Sleeper hit. Back to sleep, Jarvis.
Yeah, Jarvis.
I like that you can make the status effects work on bosses. Too many times in JRPGs, you've got all your fancy moves, and the bosses are just immune to them, yeah. Bye-bye, Jarvis. Have some of that.
Yeah, sorted. Jarvis and his friends are defeated.
Are defeated.
Sorry,
Thank you for letting me
Jarvis.
know. Lovely experience, lovely gold coins.
Well, it's great because at the fountain beforehand, we could see how much experience everyone needed to level up.
I'll never be the Lord of Shadow's right-hand man if I can't even beat the likes of you lot. Ugh. Oh my...
Who is this Lord of Shadows you keep mentioning anyway?
I mean...
Could it be the main bad guy of the game?
Could it be...
The Lord of Shadows, a bad guy?
No, with a name like that, I mean, what gives you the impression?
Oh, Jarvis, it looks like he's dead.
It looked like,
Oh.
honestly, and they have already said that they will, the PlayStation 4 Pro will really push Dragon Quest as well, so it really does look good. It's like playing an anime.
I mean, it's like, it really works with Akira Toriyama's art style, I think.
It does.
Really lifts it out and brings it to life. I mean, we've had this, we've had Dragon Ball Fighters recently as well. So in terms of Toriyama art being brought to life on our PS4, we're really being spoilt at the moment.
And I think as well, all the key JRPG franchises now in the last year, 2 years have already had their beat. So now getting a Dragon Quest in the West for PlayStation 4 rounds off things like Persona, Final Fantasy 15, Kuni 2. It's just seeing all of them come back.
Kingdom Hearts 3 is coming this year. I mean, it's a great time, isn't it? We're in the middle of a renaissance, a JRPG renaissance.
Just seeing all the big key beats come back,
Yeah.
and then if people get into it, you can really deep dive and discover some great stuff like hiding on the PlayStation Store that you maybe didn't know about. But with having all those key franchises and now having Dragon Quest come back as well, just rounds off everything to me beautifully.
Were all our efforts.
So yeah, there you go. That's our look at the gameplay.
There is more Dragon Quest XI gameplay. As we mentioned, we've got another video on the channel which you should check out now. But please do let us know in the comments if you're excited for the game. And don't forget to subscribe because we've got loads more coming up from the world of PlayStation.